Hi everyone, good evening. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi coming to you from Los Angeles, here to discuss U.S. immigration just like we do every Monday through Thursday, live on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, and on Wednesdays, YouTube Live, and the recording of this on YouTube where you can catch it there at the JQK Law Firm YouTube page, along with clips and a lot more information related to the immigration space. Now, just to start off, as always, I got to give the disclaimer that this is just general education only, meant for general public education, but not for individual legal guidance. You should definitely consult with an attorney in private about that. But the bigger news, unfortunately, we just got word that the Second Circuit Circuit Court said that the public charge injunction that made it took away the temporary requirement for not filing Form I-9404 or DS-5540, the public charge paperwork, has gone except for states that are within the Second Circuit, which is, I think, New York, Massachusetts, maybe another state there. I don't know the circuit exactly how big it is, but unfortunately for most of the country, like if you're here in California, Florida, Texas, you will have to go back to submitting Form I-944, the full public charge, and if you're going to do an embassy interview, potentially they can analyze the DS-5540, the public charge form there too. It's very unfortunate that this kicked up, but that is what's going on right now. We just got word from it. Luckily, I got a couple of applications in. We haven't had the checks cashed yet, but we got a couple in at least that are not going to be subject to it. That was a godsend. We could definitely use that. Hopefully the cases go through properly. But from now on, anyone who's coming in, we're going to have to do the public charge analysis and do that extra paperwork. So I thought I'd start with that so we have the cutting edge information, what's going on right now, but let's get it started. All right, so the first question we have, Sunil says, I did apply for removal in March and got a letter. They extended my green card. They didn't tell me, but they didn't tell me. I'm not sure what you mean. So just wait. That's all you got to do to come to biometrics. So we have biometrics. Well, what happens with removal of conditions is historically they would have you do another biometrics, but I think they got so backed up. Now what's happening now is clients submit Form I-751. They get the receipt that says it's an automatic extension for 18 months. And then 6 or 7 months later, they get another letter in the mail that says, because we already have your fingerprints, the biometrics in the system, you do not need to do another one. Now, they did this on a spur all of a sudden, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I had cases that were not getting biometrics, so I kept calling them up, following up, because I thought we missed the notice, and if we miss the notice and people don't show up, they're going to cancel the case, and the person gets sent to removal hearing deportation. But as it turns out, yeah, that's what's been happening recently. All my removal of condition cases get a receipt, some sort of I-797 notice from USCIS around 6-7 months later that say we don't need your biometrics, we already have it in the system. So that's probably what happened in your case. I can't say for certain. You know, they change these things without telling us, but that's what I'm expecting for all my cases that are doing Form I-751 removal of conditions, that the biometrics is waived because they already have it in their system. But you know, it's an important question to ask. I'm glad you brought it up. Yadi says, my EAD card, the work permit, is expiring and haven't received any interview letters from my green card. What should I do? Well, you know, if before your EAD expires, if it's an EAD, a work permit, based on the adjustment of status, a C9 category EAD, you should just renew your the work permit. You file another work permit application, and once it's submitted, it becomes an automatic extension. In which you get the receipt, it becomes an automatic extension of the previous one for, I don't know, 180 days or something like that. So it'll hold you over because it is not clear when the interview is going to happen. It's been 5 months or so that they didn't do any USCIS adjustment of status green card interviews. They're just starting to do them now, but they're very slow. There's fewer than they used to be happening every day. So it might still be a while before you get your green card. So in the meantime, you don't want to lose your work permit, so you want to renew that. You should also file for advanced parole. There's no fee on these right now. I'm not sure if that's going to change in September, but do that right now. There's no fee. And you submit it. Advanced parole does not get an automatic extension. So if you have plans on potentially needing to travel, file it right now. There's no government fee. Just submit the paperwork. And it'll take 5 or 6 months to get that approved, but at least you'll have it as a backup in case you do need to travel. But with the work permit, file it, get the automatic extension, you know, and hopefully get the green card interview sooner rather than later. Well, I started talking a lot really fast and I had a call before this. I was talking a lot. I'm going to record another video after this, and I got a consultation after that. This throat should calm down. I got to start talking a little slower, a little calmer. I got to conserve this throat because I have another hour and a half of talking coming up. If yes, I have got one approval notice for I-751, and also my card has been approved. And again, it says fingerprints due. USCIS is just really inconsistent. Just follow the instructions. They do ask for fingerprints, but I'm not sure what to tell you. Every time they're doing something different. Now, so it says how much monthly statements you have to submit to USCIS for I-751. Every single monthly statement that is joint since you got your green card. So it might be 24 statements of your credit card, 24 statement of your bank account. You want to have every single month. It's annoying. It's a lot of paper, definitely. But that's it, and that's what you should do. AK asks, is it every month when USCIS updates their processing time? I don't know. I don't follow this stuff. Because processing times on USCIS website are worthless, so it's not something I spend any time thinking about. And I really recommend you don't either. You just be patient about your case. Malik says, how long is it taking for a marriage green card case I just done my fingerprints today? It's different for every case. Do you like the president? I'm not a big political person, so it doesn't matter who the president is. I don't care much about him. So I just focus on what I'm doing in my life, who the people I'm around, and how I'm helping my family, my neighbors, and that's the only thing that's important. That politics stuff, these are powers that be that come and go. It's not something I pay attention to. Let's see, on YouTube, Chase says, hi, Mr. Khosravi. What is the success rate for AC21 for actuaries? It's not about success rates. Like, that's not how you can analyze a case. Each case is different. We got to learn what's going on in your case, your background, what the new job is, portability, whatever you're trying to do. So that's not a way to look at it. If you're an actuary, probably the statistics are what you think, but immigration doesn't work that way. The transfer really depends on what the new job is. If you had, I-485 pending for 6 months, there's a lot of technical stuff they go through. It's not something you can say chances are. It's just you got to do stuff right and then hope for the best. Perhaps says, my H1 is approved as consular processing starting October 1st. Because of the travel ban, cannot travel outside. Where's the rest of your question, perhaps? I'm not sure what to tell you. You should have done change of status. I'm not sure why you did consular processing if you're in the United States. If you did consular processing, you might not be able to get the visa because there's a travel ban for H-1Bs unless you fall within one of the exceptions. Or the embassy grants you a waiver. So he says, can I apply for my citizenship now for 33 months, sir? Well, for citizenship, if you're married and been living with a U.S. citizen, you could file after, let's say between 33 and 36 months. So if you've been married and living with a citizen, it's possible, but there's other eligibility requirements that you have to satisfy that I don't know about. So whether you can file or not, I don't know. If you're just looking at the timetables, that first criteria, if you've been married and living with a U.S. citizen for this whole time for the last 3 years, then yeah, you at least you satisfy that one. The rest of it, I don't know. That's why you have to have a private consultation to see what's going on in your case. Chase says, thanks, Mr. Khosravi. What is the processing times for RA? As mentioned, there's no processing times. It just takes however long it takes them. Donna Black says, I got an I-7, I got an approval letter. It's almost a year. No one has contacted me yet. What should I do next? I don't know, Donna Black. I-797, it just means a communication from USCIS. That's all it means. I don't know what's in that communication, what kind of approval notice, what kind of case you had, what kind of backlogs you have, what's your background. It's not something I should answer here. You got to really talk with a lawyer in private to see what's going on with your case. I was talking with I had some person contact me, as a viewer actually, and had a kind of case that I don't handle, so I referred to my buddy. And we were having a phone call afterwards, and we were just saying, he was so sad. I said, it's like, these people have a case pending for 8 years. They have no idea what's going on with their case and have no idea what anything is. And it's like, you just talk with the lawyer at first, research it. There's videos like this, talk about it. You got to know what's going on with your case on your own at the very least, or have professionals helping you. And it's like, these people are just clueless. I'm just sad that these complex cases are happening. In their case, wasn't even that complex, but they had no idea what's going on. So you got to really follow your case, have a lawyer, get the money together. There's cheaper lawyers too. There's less expensive ones. There's tons and tons of stuff on YouTube, on videos you can watch, study it. And if you spend time, it's your case, it's your life. You got to really put time into it and learn it, because you don't want to not know what's going on, and so you want to have a realistic understanding of stuff. And I'm trying to come here every day, half an hour, talk about it, and tell you what's important in case, what's not, so you have a better idea. But a lot of times people even have lawyers and they don't communicate with their lawyers, or the lawyer is not very communicative. So that's a really important factor if you're hiring a lawyer, to see, they're going to talk with you. Are they going to express stuff to you? What kind of personality they have? I want my clients get annoyed because I'm telling them everything. And they're like, I don't care, just do it. I'm like, no. This is your case, this is your life. You have to know each step, just so you know what's going on, and that's really important. Perhaps says, can I have an amendment H1 adjustment of status? Perhaps, I don't know what's going on. Your case, it seems too complicated. I really need to see a person, because you have H1 for consular processing, but now you're saying you want to adjust status. That's completely different. I might be misreading it, but that's enough individualist kind of stuff where you need to have a lawyer talk with you in private to see what's going on. Yada says, thank you, sir. You're welcome. H, thank you for following the host. Prop says, can I apply now or wait till October 1st? I don't know, Props. I gotta see your case of what's going on. I can't answer that and tell you what to do when I don't know anything about you other than a screen name. Penn Teller says, hello, Mr. Khosravi. When do you think the USA will open up for tourism again? Well, the USA is open up for tourism. People are coming. Well, people are scared to come, but people are coming as tourists. It didn't close. Certain nationalities or people, not nationalities, well, certain nationalities too, but certain people that have visited certain countries can't come in for a while. They have to go in, go to a third-party country. Like if you're in France, you have to leave France for 2 weeks before you come back in and go to some country that's not on a banned list or be an exception. But tourism has not really closed. Just people are afraid to get on planes. That's what's going on. Ratish says, I appreciate my son EB2. I send all the paper documents, but no other information for interview dates. So how? I don't know, Ratish. I don't know what's going on with your cases. That's not something I can answer here. Masim says, I'm submitting an electronic bill and gas bill to USCIS. How much month is required? For gas bills and stuff like that, I just pick out a couple every 3 months or something like that because it's not that big a deal. But bank statements, I do every 24 months. Because it's just a gas statement. Some of them don't even believe it. Sandeep says, hi, sir. Hi, sir, to you too. User 49, thank you. Let's see. Marvin says, can I stay in the USA after a 60-day OPT grace period since I have applied for change to my F1 to visitor? Yeah, you can stay until a decision is made. If a decision is denied, then you got to leave immediately. If it's approved, it's fine. But if you have a pending a change of status case to a tourist visa, it is possible to stay here in the meantime. Now, technically you're out of status. Technically, they can come and put you in immigration court to kick you out. But the general guidance is to let a decision be made on that case first before making a move. But it doesn't necessarily preclude them from doing that. User 435 says, what are the options parents or brother sponsor green card to brother? What are the options parent or brother are sponsoring green card to brother? Well, they could all petition for him. It depends on if the brother is single or married. How long it takes varies depending on the type of case and how old they are, if they're married or not, what country they're from. It's just two general questions. The option is consult with an immigration attorney to get proper information and plan it out. There's a lot going on there. Rosie says, so what happened to Life Act 245I? Nothing happened to it. It's still happening. Reshade says, hi, when will K1 visa start the process again? Well, it never stopped. I got K1 visa approval last month. The foreign fiance just came in yesterday or Sunday, so it never stopped. And this is unfortunately the misinformation that's out there about the immigration process. That people think things are stopped or not happening. K1s are happening. So we filed the form I-129F, which is initial petitions. Those have never stopped. Eventually, the foreign spouse goes to an interview. Some interviews are closed down because the embassies are closed down in those countries. But if it's not one of those countries where the embassy is closed down, they're open, they're issuing visas. They come here, get married, file for adjustment status, get the green card. So you really should consult an immigration attorney. And if you're thinking about doing a fiancé or marriage case, what you should do first and foremost is go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook and download the free Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook that really breaks down the process so you have an idea and understanding of what it all is. And it's a free ebook I wrote. It's the best one out there, 30, 40 pages. It really helps you a lot. And then after reading that, you can consult with an attorney in private to get good guidance on what the next step is. But that's what you should do. Let's see, user for what's blocked by the host. Okay. So Noor says, what do you mean think about Trump ban? What do you think about Trump ban that is expiring in December, or there's hope? I don't know. It's not a decision I can make, so I can't. I don't want to. It is what it is. It just either it's going to work or it's not. It's not something I can hope about. It is going to happen or not going to happen. I think we got a question on YouTube. Chase follows up, Mr. Khosravi, from your recent experience, what is the range of processing times? I don't go into processing times. I don't think it's wise to talk about those. It just varies a lot. Anna says, is the process of EAD card faster when you have IOE number received? There's no faster or slower. Whenever they get around to it, they'll do it. You just have to be patient. Don't worry about these timetables. Live your life. Jennifer says, can I sponsor a parent who is already living here? Maybe. There's just a lot of things we have to see what's going on about how your parents entered, what kind of status they have, all this kind of stuff. You know, on TikTok, E2Biz is blocked. It keeps blocking people. I'm not doing it, but apparently people keep getting blocked. I'm not sure why that is. They're probably saying some crazy stuff where it's automatically blocking them, but I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Aravis says, how long do I have to wait to get an interview date for my husband? However long it takes the embassy to schedule an appointment for you. When will USCIS schedule interviews? Whenever they get around to it, to you. Go Curry says, how can I continue to work after a conditional green card expires, divorcing U.S. citizen, but it's taking forever? Well, before your conditional green card expires, you were supposed to file Form I-751 removal of conditions. Once you got a receipt for that filing, that receipt acts as an extension of your green card. And once that expires, you get temporary extensions as well from the local field office. So that's that. Now, if you didn't file that form, you're in serious trouble. You need to consult with an immigration attorney ASAP. If you're getting a divorce while you have removal conditions pending or 2-year green card, 100% you have to have a lawyer. It's too complicated to deal with on your own. So what you should do right now is get off the phone or get off TikTok and call some lawyers and schedule some consultations. You're in a serious position that needs help. Frozen Beer says, do you have any clients waiting for interview in Juarez? If so, do you have a general wait time? Yes, I have several clients waiting in Juarez. There is no general wait time. It's however long it takes them, and they're not even scheduling things right now. Okay, we're gonna go YouTube. Tom Murray says, hey, good night. If I didn't collect my green card as yet, can I get married and apply for my spouse? I don't know what you mean if you didn't collect your green card. I'm not sure what that means. James says, are they still processing I-130s for F2B category? It never stopped processing I-130s. It's been going on. Chase follows up. Mr. Khosravi, what is the percentage? Again, you gotta stop worrying about percentages because let's say it's 99% do one thing, and if you're one of the 1%, it doesn't matter. And with immigration, the numbers are large. There's a good chance you'll be the 1%. So please don't ask me a question about chances, timelines. First of all, I don't know anything about you, so your case might have some red flags that I'm not aware of. So I can't come here and say that. It's just not wise to think like that. I'll tell you from a professional that does this every day, day in, day out. Timelines, chances. You just do your work and then you do it and then you wait for that to work out. Frozen Beer says, do you have any clients? Or I already answered that question. Newer says, what do you think? I already answered that. Thanks, you're welcome. Hashmi says, can I apply for citizenship before 90 days? No. I mean, you probably mean before the 90 days. We don't know. I'm not sure what your question is. Not well designed, so I don't want to answer that. Inan says, is USCIS processing adjustment of status application in the U.S. currently? Yes, 100%. They never stop processing adjustment of status or I-130s or I-140s or any forms. Inan says, since there was a rumor that they were stopped processing, I've been saying this every day for the last 4 months. And no, don't listen to rumors. Go talk to a lawyer and get some good advice. Akia says, if your spouse is pregnant, should you notify the USCIS? Will that help in making the case stronger? Not necessarily. I mean, your case should have been strong anyway, so I'm not sure why you get married. And it could affect the affidavit of support. So you got to talk with a lawyer for that kind of advice. Odie says, hi, I applied for a green card more than 120 days. Not received a call them saying go and send an email. If you didn't get a receipt, that's a problem. If you got a receipt, then you just have to be patient. That's just a lot of impatient people here today asking questions. I know it takes a while, but that's just how bureaucracies work. Eve Tuvid says, oh my God, Eugene Levy, who was blocked. Oh, I get that a lot, actually, but I'm not sure why TikTok blocked you. I wouldn't have blocked you for that, even though it's a troll comment. Let's see. I lost track of where everything going. Azit says, do you have any updates from DV Lottery? No, most people with DV Lottery are going to get screwed. There are some lawsuits on it, but we'll see what happens if the lawsuits are successful or not. But so far, not good news for most people. Malik says, NBC approved my spouse, all documents, almost 90 days. How long should you interview? Too many interviews. Whenever the embassy is open and wants to see you, they'll see you. There's nothing you can do about that. Victoria says, hello to you too. Anna says, can I bring a copy of biometrics notice to appointment or I need to bring original? I've never had problems bringing copies. You might have bad luck with some officers, but I've never had problems sending copies with clients just for them to print out. It's never been an issue. So very rarely do officers mistakenly think you have to have the original. I had a question here pop up. James says, what does Trump mean when he says the court decision on DACA gave him powers he never thought he had? I don't know what Trump means. Trump says a lot of different things. I wouldn't really think about that. Chase says, when I-485 is processing, is it better to continue working under H-1B 3-year extension or work under EAD? That's a personal decision on the risks you want to take and how strong your case is. So these are, at this point, with the questions you guys Chase, I mean, you should just get your own lawyer and talk in private, because it seems like you have a lot of worries that you really need specifically answered, and this is too much of a public forum to talk about that. I can't really give you the advice I could give you in private. There's some stuff I wouldn't even talk about in private because it's really sensitive kind of stuff. So just, there's lawyers that provide free consultation. I don't, as a fee for my consultation, but do what you gotta do and talk to some professionals. It's obvious you have some really specific needs that you need to go over, and only a private consultation. And I don't mean to be rude about anything like that, but it's just, I could tell we need to have a talk. Anna says, can I bring, we answered that. Tiger, thank you. Alon says, with the after California Real ID, can my immigrant parents still go, for example, Oregon and travel? After the Real ID Act comes, when you want to travel within the United States, you have to have a real ID. So that could be a driver's license that's Real ID certified, or it could be a foreign passport even, or a US passport. So if your parents have a passport from their home country, they can travel as a real ID. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Hashmi says, usually people, can I apply for citizenship when it's 3 months to complete 5 years residency? Can you? You got to work on your sins, bro. But if it's 3 months, 90 days, not 3 months, 90 days left to the 5-year mark, you can start the application process if you satisfy the rest of the eligibility requirements for naturalization, aka citizenship. Nabri says, easy ways for Canadian to come here easy. We'll have a video on this. Just go to jklaw.com. Quick, just Canadian immigration, jklaw.com. If you have a degree or some large amount of work experience, depending on what kind of job you're doing, maybe you get a TN visa, maybe you can get an E2 investor visa. It's not about being easy or not. Some people it'll work, some people it doesn't work. So there's nothing easy here. It's just about your background and what's going on. Jay says, LML, TikTok is the place for everything. That's right. Thank you, Sabe. Odi says, I know it's been 5 months and not sending green card. Grandma having depression for this. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's just things take a while. I think I saw a quick YouTube question here I'm going to go back to. James says, what happens if my priority date is current, but my I-130 is still not processed? My priority date for F2B is coming up soon, but my I-130 is still pending. Boy, maybe, I don't know. It depends. I got to see the rest of your case, what's going on. I can't answer that. Utsa says, interview was done 3 months ago for green card and point-based and no further updates from USCIS. Yeah, I just got to wait. It sucks sometimes. They take a while. Juliet says, my biometrics was canceled because of COVID, but I've gotten my Social Security and not my EDA. Please, what next? What next is just wait. That's it. Just keep waiting. Hashmi, 90 days or 3 months, or it's all. No, Hashmi, 90 days is different for 3 months. It's very specific. If you file 91st day, because you got to keep in mind, you might have a month that's 31 days. You might have a month that's 30 days. You might have a month that's 31 days. That's 92 days. And if you file the case at the 92-day mark, they're going to deny your case for early filing. So Hashmi, I'm a lawyer. I say things specifically. It's 90 days before the 5-year mark, not 3 months. It's a reason why I said that. Let's see. Ahmed says, sir, how are you, sir? I'm good. I send my evidence or feed USS. I'm still waiting. Interview, case removal. Yeah, I don't know. Just got to wait. Just all this is you got to wait. Ilon says, is there any way possible to travel out of the country with DACA? You have to apply for advanced parole travel permission. Whether you can get that or not, it's gotten harder. It's very hard under President Trump to get that. But that might be the way. So I wouldn't, unless you really need to, I wouldn't risk it. Let's see. Man says, for people who complete doctorate in USA, can they apply for E2, E1? The doctorate itself doesn't make any difference. On E1 or E2 visa are treaty investor cases where E1 is if you have a company overseas that does most of their trade with the United States and you're coming to work on that, or more likely the E2, which is you're a foreign national that's coming to invest and start a business. But what's important for the E visas is you have to have a passport of a country that has a treaty with the United States and satisfy a bunch of other requirements. So your doctorate and stuff on the periphery, secondarily, it could be helpful if you're working that business that you have a doctorate in. But that's not the most important thing, hardly the most important thing. First and foremost, you have to have a passport of a country that has an E2 or E1 treaty with the United States. And secondly, especially with the E2 version, the investor version, you have to invest something that's a substantial amount of money. It has to be a non-marginal business. So there's other, like 99% other things that I looked at other than your doctorate, Marvin, or Mansvin. Just consult with an immigration attorney in private for help on that. Because it's a very serious matter. It's very complicated, the E2 visa. Mao on YouTube says, NBC emailed me to start the 6-point process, but my worry is Trump immigration visa ban. What is your advice? You get started. I mean, it is what it is. Just get started on the paperwork. Sabe says, is there any age waiver for interview for citizenship? there is a system of age, depending on how old you are and how long you've had a green card in living in the United States. So there is a formula for that. You can look it up in the instructions. It has there in the form. It has it there, and then that creates some waivers for language. Actually, so they don't waive the interview per se, but they don't ask you certain kind of questions about language potentially or background. So generally, they're always going to do an interview. Very rare would they waive a citizenship interview. You got to be in coma pretty much. Ricardo says, I got a kidney transplant. I'm sorry I let you go through that. About 10 years ago, could I be qualified for a visa humanitarian? No. I mean, you got? I understand. It sucks that you got a kidney transplant, but I don't know how that has anything to do with getting a humanitarian visa. If we were going to get humanitarian visas for people who had difficult situations, America would be packed. The user 21 says, hi, Mr. Parviz. I'm not Parviz. Parviz is a colleague of mine. I'm John. Do you have an office in the Bay Area? Well, I help cases in the Bay Area regularly, in San Jose, San Francisco. Regularly, I talk with their cases. But I don't meet with people in person. I just do video consultations. So email my office and schedule a time, and we can go from there. Ahmed says, thanks, sir. Thank you for all the help. God bless you. God bless you as well. Thank you. Let's see. Sam says, any news about marriage-based interviews in USA? Yes, some are starting, some are not. Zema says, how long does it take for I-40? It takes however long it takes to get an N400 citizenship approved. When will they, why do they call me renew? Will they ask my spouse? Which, okay. So Odie says, I applied for my spouse. When they call for interview, will they ask my spouse what job I have? Yeah, they can, especially for the affidavit support portion. It can't come up. So that's very serious that could come up. Yeah. We had a question pop up on YouTube. We're nearing the end of the show. We got a bunch of questions left. So for those that don't get to, just come back tomorrow, Thursday. We're going to be live on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, and on Instagram, the JQK Law from Instagram page. We're going to be live there 5 to 5:30 p.m. We can follow up things there. James says, will there be a huge backlog for those that are currently affected by Trump immigration ban, and therefore once the ban is lifted, it's time there'll be a delay? Yeah, that's probably going to be a delay, yeah. Ricardo says, we already answered that question. Sonny says, hi, I-751 showing fingerprints applied July. Any idea? I don't know. It's the stage where you got to wait. Sabi talks about our dad's age for citizenship. It depends on a lot of different factors. My dad got a green card, a lot of other things. So consult with an attorney in private for help on that. It's not a case I help with, so don't call me about that. AV says, L1A green card reviews waived. Some are, some aren't. Not all, some are, some aren't. And it's not an L1A, it's an EB1C green card. Zad said it's been a month. I'm still waiting. Yeah, you gotta wait. When it seems like it's all day. Just everyone. I know you gotta rush. You don't want to get things done, but immigration is a waiting game in the U.S. Kron says, when are they going to allow H1 workers to get stuck in the countries? When are they going to open that up? I don't know. You gotta ask President Trump that. Odie says, my grandma entered the United States at the airport. They forgot to stamp on the password. What should I do? Well, you got to go online and look up her Form I-94. So you go to Google, type in Form I-94, and then there's a page that comes to check out her entry record, and you put her passport information in and see that it's there. If it doesn't come up, there's issues, talk with the lawyer first, and potentially you have to contact the port, the airport that you enter with, the CBP officers. I don't want you to just go and do that because it could be problematic. First, I want to make sure everything else is okay. Talk with the lawyer first, and then you contact them and say, hey, didn't stamp it, and I-94 didn't pop up. What can we do to fix that? But talk with the lawyer first. Check the I-94. If it's there, that's there. But then talk with the lawyer. Amir says, my priority date is current. What is the timeline for getting the green card? Amir, there's different kinds of green cards. So the priority date could be 10 or 11 different types of cases. So, and it depends on what country you're from and a lot of other factors and what kind of bans are there. So the question you ask is only one out of many pieces of information I need to know. So just schedule a consultation, talk in private, and we can take it from there. Take one or two more questions before we end it. Saran says, do you know the Fresno field office open or not yet? It is for some cases and not for others. So it's not that it's closed, but it's not seeing every kind of case. Mauro says, do I need a birth certificate for citizenship? Typically, you do not need your birth certificate for citizenship unless there's a reason to. You have some sort of name change or some issues like that. But typically, it's not that. Amara, I don't talk about timelines, so definitely talk about lawyer private, talk about how long things take and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Odie says TikTok going to be banned. I don't know. It's not up to me. Najee says, how much do you charge for a consultation? I just have questions for you. Email my office and ask that. I don't, and these are recorded, so things change, prices go up and down. I don't like to have prices on record. Email my office, info@jklaw.com. Describe the immigration issue that you have, and I'll let you know how much my consultation fee is for that kind of case. I saw first immigration lawyer. Okay, a bunch of weird questions. Ahmad says, I saw first immigration lawyer that helped like this. Thank you. Thanks a lot. You're welcome, Ahmad. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Glad I could help. Kenna says, what about for people who already applied for their B1, B2 visa extension? Any idea? Yeah, you wait for that or just go back to your home country, I guess. I don't know. Any idea? I don't know anything about you to be able to answer that. And the last question of the day, Danny asks, is it true interviews aren't being reissued? We have to try to get on the profile of the person? Yeah, I don't know what the second part of your sentence is, but no, the interviews are being issued. Many field offices started issuing them for green card cases. They've been being issued for citizenship cases, but it just takes a while to get back in the system. And coronavirus comes back, people get sick. I mean, you got to just keep in mind, the immigration department are people too. They're worried about going to work. They're shutting down. They're getting sick and not coming to work. It's just, they're human beings. So when they're like, why is the embassy not opening a flush? It was like, well, those people are afraid to get sick too, or they got sick and they can't come to work. You got to look at the fact that there's human beings on the other side of this. So it's not a robot doing your case, it's an actual person. And so when, a pandemic happens, they're affected too. It's not just you. Now, I know you want your case to be done. I want to be done too. I hate having cases linger and linger. My clients are worried. They want to get their lives started. But the reality is, this is just what it is. We're dealing in crazy times. And even before this, there were delays. The immigration department is not a priority for the U.S. government. You're immigrants, if people are watching this. I love you. I make a living because I'm helping you, so I appreciate you and I love you. I want you to keep coming. But for the people in charge, then you're not important. And so you're not going to get priority. Even though you're paying fees for the services, it's not a government benefit. You're paying a bunch of money for the services. They don't really care about you. Now, I've talked with USCIS officers that are on the ground. There are a lot of good people. Most of them I've met, whether at CBP, at Customs Border Protection, whether at USCIS Immigration Office. I don't deal with ICE, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Many immigration judges, really good people. I just want to do a good job. But they're people too. They have a ton of work ahead of them. They have bosses hassling them. There might be furloughs right now. I was on a call with the head of one of the field offices here in California, and he got a furlough notice. So in the middle of a call, he's like, well, I got the furlough notice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage next month. So this is a human being too worried about this kind of stuff. So that's why, when people talk times like, dude, we're all in this together. You just got to be patient and we'll get through it. With that rant, thank you all for joining us. I'll catch with you all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific to 5:30. TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John. On Instagram, JK Law Firm. And you can catch the YouTube video of this at the JQK Law Firm video page. Like, subscribe, and get more information, the newest information right there. Until next time, have a good one. God bless. Bye-bye.